Welcome.
It works.
Everything works.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming. We are going to talk about, or it's not even talk about, we are actually going to do live things.
Yeah. It's a high-tech demo. There's a high-tech probability of failure, but this is how we roll. You know, high stakes,
it's going to be
high reward.
fun no matter what happens.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, and hopefully also educational. So basically there are two scenarios. Everything works and you walk out of here learned how cool AI IDEs are, or nothing works and you learn that it's not there yet.
AI is not there yet, so it requires another year maybe of another iteration.
But it's a win-win anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So the difference between IDE and AI IDE is obviously agents that run inside IDE and does the work for us.
Yep.
What's the first kind of thing that you think about when you think about agents?
Anyone?
Agent
Smith. Agent
Smith.
Agent Smith.
All right, that was easy. All right, let's now. Okay, you all knew Agent Smith. Okay, more iconic agents. 007. All right.
It's a good one.
Yeah, more agents. Someone old enough. Oh, that's a good one. That's like
deep cut.
Yeah, deep cut. No. Bond. Yeah, someone said. How about this guy? Who's this? That's
Agent Johnson.
Agent Johnson, and that's Special Agent Johnson. No connection.
No connection. Die Hard. Any Die Hard fans?
That's a very hard. That's a
really
crowd.
deep cut. So, and the reason for that, you're gonna see two agents on the stage today.
No connection.
No connection. Yes, those would be very similar agents.
Right. Okay. So jokes aside, it went above your head anyway. What is agent in AI context? Is something that autonomously performs actions. Right. So, and people call agent all kind of stuff. I have a friend who calls their custom GPT agents.
Which is not entirely true.
They are autonomous, right? You can have conversation with them, but they don't really perform any action.
And you will not be able to execute anything. It is just like answers.
Right. The other option, which we also hear like action throw a lot, is like your code assistant.
Yes.
Which is also not an agent because they do perform actions.
But they're not quite autonomous.
They can edit code for you, but they're not autonomous.
Yeah, you need to ask explicitly to do this.
Right. So agent is something that does both. And agents allow vibe coding. That's a very long tweet from Andrei Karpathy. We're not going through it.
Anyone heard about the term vibe coding?
Everybody.
Ooh, nice. Anyone practicing vibe coding? Oh, nice.
Tried. Let's not go practicing. Tried. Yeah. Okay, so the amazing thing about it, you all heard about it, and this term exists just a couple of months. This tweet is from February. And it really kind of picked up because this is what it is. And it's only possible because of
AI
and agents.
AI in agents.
Right. So we're going to look at two AI powered
agentic IDEs.
Agentic IDEs. And going back to the joke of Agent Johnson and Special Agent Johnson, you can barely see it.
It's pretty dark humor, yes.
Yeah, but this is basically Windsurf, Agent Johnson Windsurf. And that's a screenshot from their homepage, probably not the best, but you will see a lot of Windsurf.
Yep.
And this is VS Code with Copilot, agentic Copilot. Now, Agent Johnson and Special Agent Johnson, they are barely the same, and there is a connection. Windsurf is based on an open source version of VS Code. VS Codium, and they basically run the same core. And the real difference, and this is what is exciting.
They have a different core, but they use same editor and same APIs to integrate with, like to where this agent will be doing things. But they drastically different because they're using different models.
And so that's my point, right? The real difference is in the agent.
Yes.
And this is what it makes it very interesting for our conversation, because we will see almost the same editor with big differences because of the agent. And since they are the same, maybe we'll show you another Agent Johnson. No connection this time.
Yes, how this young YouTuber saying, stick around till the end, and the third option might surprise you.
Might surprise you. We'll see if it will.
Yeah,
All
if
right.
it works. That's the goal.
Okay, we are your humble prompt typers. We won't do anything except of typing prompts.
Maybe sometimes run the Spring Boot run, the Maven Spring Boot.
No, the agent should do it.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, so this is me, hat and glasses, Baruch Sadogursky, head of developer relations in a company called Tuxcare. We do provide secure binaries for your supply chain. Edgy Baruch everywhere, LinkedIn, whatever social network, wrote a couple of books about DevOps mostly. This is my esteemed colleague.
Viktor Gamov, principal developer advocate with Confluent, all things Kafka, all things stream processing, and all things web coding. Also wrote a couple books, Enterprise Web Development and Apache Kafka in Action. Oh, actually, it's a Kafka in Action. It's a different book.
At Gamusa everywhere.
Yes.
We're kind of Java people, both Java champions, and it's important because half of what we're going to code today, we have no idea what are we talking about. Okay, the other half is Spring Boot. We got that, but half of it we have no idea.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's set the stage.
The most important slide of this conference, talk.
Very humble.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yes.
It might be, but might be not.
It depends on you and depends on
the
our
voting.
agents,
Yeah, exactly.
yes.
Yeah. Speaking.jbaruch or speaking.gamov.io is the special page that we created for you. It has the slides. It has the video because we are recording right now in multiple cameras and what's not. And it has all the links to everything you need to make it easier for you to remember. There is a QR code, and it's in the bottom of every slide, although we don't have a lot of slides. So what I suggest is, should we start vibe coding, let it run, and then continue with the slides?
Let's start with vibe coding. Let's start with vibe coding, and because of age, I allow you to start.
My 57?
Yeah, you're 57.
Yeah, all right. Private joke. Yeah, so this is VS Code, as you know and like or don't like it. The only difference is that I have a Copilot installed here, and a Copilot that I have here is the one that has chat with agent mode. Is it too tiny? Probably. Yeah, how about now? Is it good? On the back? All right, perfect. All right. So you see here, ask agent edit. Ask and edit is what you will get in a normal Copilot assistant. Agent is the special mode. I have here a model selected. We're going to talk about models. And basically, I have a special file at .github that is called Copilot instructions. And this Copilot instructions is how do we want our agent to behave. Now, these instructions are for agentic coding, and then we basically go into like what to expect, what is already set up, and reference to requirements document of our software that I'm going to open in a second. Responsibilities, what to do, stuff like implement REST point. Oh, yeah, so what are we going to do? I forgot to mention.
Yes.
We're going to use
You would be wondering, like, why we have this freaking bulb here.
We are going to change the color of this bulb based on what our web cameras see.
Yeah.
Right?
For now, it works just from some sort of API. We want to do this from something. Maybe we can even invite someone on the stage with nice, bright, colorful the short,
attire,
and we will use this information to feed this into
I see a red hoodie over there, so maybe. All right, so anyway, I'm going to describe what it needs to do, how it works, and there is a reference to interesting stuff like Code 7 that we're going to mention, etc., etc.
Can you just start doing things instead of talking things?
Sorry, I'm talking way too much. Yeah, okay, that's a problem. All right, so I have a prompt here that I'm going to copy-paste. And the prompt goes basically something like, we're building a vibe coding red green blue vibe control app. And there is a context, what we want to do, instructions, says follow instructions. And then context 7 MCP we're going to mention. And then I want you to think about loud and basically start coding. So I will let it run. And while it do that, we can switch to Vic so he can start as well. He doesn't need to do any explanation at all because I just explained everything.
The one thing is that different between me and
I
Baruch
tried.
is is that he's going to be demoing you kind of like a pure vibe code. Vibe code is that like you just asking this question and let AI run, apply automatically, run this myself. I will be following something that the Baruch was developing himself. I don't know why I'm demoing this, but maybe it's just
because it gives more
validation.
When someone else does it.
So
like I didn't ask you to do it.
Yeah, there's another there's another approach that's more aligned with what we call AI assistant engineering, when you're approaching this from perspective of regular software project, but you are telling the instructions and inform how you would set these requirements for your like junior developer or someone like that. So for that, I do have my same requirements.
How does it call, the process? How does it call?
PDD, prompt-driven development.
Also known as intent integrity chain.
Yes.
Yes.
Intent integrity chain. So the one of the things that we wanted to showcase in this particular case, we have a same requirement. We're starting from the same place. However, we go into the different routes. First one, based on this requirement, I ask it to create a plan, so it saves a little bit more time. And based on the plan, I ask this to create a set of tasks. So the way how I will be approaching this, I will be visually see what it does instead of talking out loud how you say this in your console. Everything will be collected here, and every time when the task would be executed, I will get something like this. If I will just do PDD tasks, I would say start with phase 1 and proceed or not. So I don't want it to stop. I want this to proceed until all tasks are done.
Which is kind of violation of the intent integrity chain, because we need those checks that people look at the specs that are generated, but we're vibe coding.
Yeah, we're doing this for showing demos. Usually the way how I approach this type of scenarios, I'm starting with a phase, I would let it run, and after that I will do some validation because it requires a little bit hand-holding, but let's go.
All right. While it vibe codes all the things, let's talk about what we are doing and with what. So our stack is Spring Boot, the latest Spring Boot, and then HTML and JavaScript, and that's kind of the part that we said that we have no idea what are we doing. And basically, we will see later what else can we, how else
So here's the thing, in order to create this kind of like interesting for you and for us, we kind of like a little bit on the IoT type of geekery side of things. So we like to tinker with some of the home automation stuff. And I was thinking, okay, that would be cool to combine those things. We'll have our coding things, but in order to make it challenging, we wanted to also integrate some of the front-end skill that we both lack of, because we're Java champions, not the JavaScript champions. So in this case, we're going to be relying on the knowledge of the models, so we can get things like how we can the web camera selector from the browser, how we can read this information from the web camera and recognize this as colors, and after that, turn this into some numbers that we will send to APIs and all this kind of things. But at the end of the day, API, like, what about this? Like, how are we going to be sending data to this bulb and things like that?
Let's talk about that.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. Okay, so what we want to show you today in this session, it's not just at the end we will have some pretty ugly UI, but way better than we could do ourselves. It's actually
100%.
about the features of the agentic IDEs. So what we want to show you. First of all, model selection. Some of them
This is not how I envisioned my, my maturity, where I will have a select models and stuff like that.
Okay, that's not safe for work joke.
Yes.
All right. Okay, so and we will just show you while it keep doing stuff, and I think it does keep. Yeah, it keep running. So we will show you a little bit of the features. So here, Copilot. Copilot let you select from the models that come baked in, which have most of the popular ones, I would say, stuff like the latest Claude Sonnets, couple of latest Geminis, a couple of latest OpenAI models, and you can also do like what is called the other models. So when you manage models, you can plug in your own API key, and it will use your model, which obviously gives you first much better flexibility. And second, you are not limited but by what Microsoft graciously give you in terms of limits.
Also, another interesting point and very important point is that you can also control spending differently.
Exactly.
In this particular case, we're relying on whatever comes with our $10 Pro account that comes with
No, that's free.
Oh, even better. So he has a free version. I'm paying for my $10 the Windsurf account. But in your organization, you might have the hosted version. You might use like OpenRouter that allow you to control the spending and things like that. So that's huge.
Right. So bring your own key works exactly like that. I provided a key to the model once, and now I can select from the models that I have access through Anthropic and use other models that are provided with obviously other spend limits. You ready to show models?
Yes.
All right, here you go.
So in my side of things, I also have ability to select models. And in this, there's some recommended. For example, Windsurf, it's a company that came from the background of actually developing their own models. And so that's why they're providing their own like SWE models. That's something that they develop and they train this specifically for the code. You can use also ChatGPT, Claude Thinking, and also you will be able to do the provided version. So in this particular case,
and let's bring your own key.
I'm trying to use like the Sonnet 4 with the bring your own key.
Same idea.
Same idea. I don't know, like if we want to kind of like select the winner because everyone will do the same thing.
So that will be just interesting to check what is your kind of feeling on what models are better for vibe coding. Who thinks ChatGPT 4.0 works good for code? Probably
Okay,
no one,
no
for a good reason. Gemini. We know that there are people who are very excited about Gemini for coding. That's not really our experience.
It's definitely not my experience.
Yeah, that's weird because we hear great things about it.
The moment at night when you try to prepare the demo, vibe code your demo, you're getting like rate limits and you're running out of money. And in this moment of desperation, I would go for Gemini 5. And after that, I was just like, no, I will just stick for whatever is available. I don't know. My personal experience, your mileage might vary. Yeah. I didn't.
Claude Sonnet 3.7.
This
very,
is
very solid choice
for doing everything coding. It's a great model, does a lot of things, knows a lot of things, and very difficult. For example, when the ChatGPT 4.1 was released, we said, okay, let's try to do this. We did this in March in France. We just, no, stick around to our old guy. He still delivers.
A new kid on the block which is dethroning actively Claude 3.7 is Sonnet 4.
Anyone had a chance to try it?
Sonnet 4 is, you should try it. It's absolutely extraordinary. It's like light years ahead of everything, including 3.7. It's really, really good. And this is what we're both of us using. And
until we run out of the tokens and we got to switch to something else. The cool thing about this IDE is that allow you to mix and match, so you can feel it yourself. It's not like something that I would need to start new project in order to try it out. You will see immediately based on the output of certain model when you can switch this during this like vibe code stuff because they will be able to pick up those changes.
Yeah. Any other recommendations for us, for everybody else? Something that people really liked?
Maybe
just shout. Opus 4.
It's for very rich boys, kind of like a go, let's go. Yes, exactly. The more advanced and thinking model that comes with Sonnet 4, it's more advanced, more expensive, but 100%, yes. Anything else? Maybe some, local brands, European brands.
All right. Okay. We tried Mistral, but no, let's not mention the poor guy. All right. What else? Thinking mode. Now, this is also important, and you heard about Apple's paper that LLMs are not thinking. We know that LLMs are not thinking, but there is something that's called thinking mode, either in IDE or as external feature that we're going to mention soon enough. Let's first talk about what the thinking mode is. So basically, you probably know it, LLMs are stateless. Right, because no one is going to manage a state for hundreds of millions of people over billions of conversations on the server side. All the state is managed on your client. So basically the way it works, you have a user, you have an LLM, a user asks, how do I use Spring Boot? Stateless model will answer something like, you cannot really boot a season. I mean, that's just stupid. And then you will clarify that, hey, I actually meant the programming framework. Now here, if that's the only one, the only thing that is sent to LLM won't know what to do with this phrase because it's out of context. And this is where our client, it might be a website like whatever, openai.com, or it might be a desktop Claude application, or it might be our IDE, will send everything that was discussed so far together with your new request to the server. So in this the context will be, the user asked about Spring Boot, I told him it is impossible, and then we get the right result. Right? Got it. It's a programming language developed by Broadcom those days, etc., etc. Right? So this is, by the way, where the concept of context window comes in. Every back and forth adds more and more and more to what is sent at every request. In some point of time, it's too large to send, to proceed, or to make sense of, and this is what we call the limit of the context window.
Yep.
Now, what thinking mode is? Thinking mode introduces a new component to our flow diagram, some kind of code that will do the back and forth for us.
With model, not the model start thinking for you. It's the application or LLM client. In our case, we're gonna use this like our IDEs will do this thinking for us, like thinking.
So we keep doing the same. We ask, how do I use Spring Boot? Now, this piece of code lives inside my development IDE. It knows for sure that when I'm asking about Spring Boot, I'm not asking about the season, I'm asking about the programming language.
Or, you know, this like
so
thing, the Spring.
It intercepts the results for me and will nudge the model to do the right thing and to answer in the right context for me. So the only thing I will see is the correct answer. It looks like a model reasoned about it and said, oh no, he's probably not asking about the season because he's writing code. He's probably asking about the programming language. So that looks like thinking and reasoning. It's none of that. But this is what it's called thinking on reasoning mode. Now, in our IDEs, we either have, or what did Python came from? Jesus. Okay, never mind.
Vibing.
Oh, look! We have something. We have something.
Yeah, let's do switch and show what we have.
No, but wait a second. We were in the middle of thinking mode.
Thinking mode.
Yeah,
yes.
you don't have it, so that's why you don't want me to show it.
I don't have any thinking mode. Like,
yeah,
that's
I know.
Absolutely no thinking.
Right.
At all.
So if we go here and we will do thinking or reasoning. Thinking.
Yeah, you have a thinking
tool.
tool.
Here you go. Thinking tool, right? It's a checkbox that I enable, and then it introduces this piece of code that will manage the conversation with you. Viktor didn't want you to see it because Windsurf doesn't have it.
Yes, in Windsurf doesn't have this like particular like switch. But there's ways how we can like force
we'll
thinking.
We'll get to it later. Yeah. All right, you want to show what you got?
Yeah. So like I'm doing so far the only thing that I changed here is this the IP address because IP address of our bulb here.
I'm doing it right now.
Otherwise, this the machinery will go crazy on this.
Same IP?
Yeah, same IP.
Okay.
So we will we'll show you how we can fix this in the future. Another thing is that if I want to use thinking mode, there is ability for me to select the thinking model. If I go, say, there's like Sonnet for thinking. And after that, it will be speaking aloud the process of like dealing with certain things. Now, so far what we have. Inside the Windsurf, I do have this interesting feature that allows me to either have a local preview of the application or open external browser. Also, as a tool, it was able to invoke my the command line. I'm sorry. Yes, let me show you this one from here. So it ran the console application from here. Also, it has the web preview available for my application. So let's take a look what we have so far. So we have so far UI that has a camera error, which is totally cool. We can send I don't want to see what kind of error, but there's a button says I can send the error from the console to the editor.
Directly, that's very cool.
It will go here, send the error. Only thing that it sometimes thinking that, hey, you burning money too fast. Do you still want to continue? I said, yeah, I still want to continue. I'm vibing. That's kind of like we're vibing. As you can see here, we attach the context to this, so it will be able to see what is wrong and try to fix that. That's what I have for now. Let we continue with where's your? Is it me or you?
That's you. That's me,
you.
the yellowish. All right. So for me, I wasn't exact. So it basically said, I finished, and it doesn't work because unreachable IP, which makes perfect sense because it used some like dummy IP, and then I went to my application properties and set a proper IP, and now basically what I want to do is restart it. And it tried to restart it, I think, but it definitely didn't. So I can try and run it myself. Spring boot run, right? So yeah, let's see. Opa, it actually fails. Okay, so I will tell it that it fails, and then we'll see what happened, right? So what I need to do is basically take all the output here, or like the latest output here, and then basically feed it back to it. So I can do that and go to like whatever it failed, right? That's like all the way to here somewhere, doesn't matter. And just say stop and just feed it to it. We'll see what happens. All right. Okay, so we spoke about thinking mode. The next one is what we call the YOLO mode. YOLO stands for you only live once. And I think that's kind of the motto of vibe coding, the YOLO thing. It basically, we run it whatever, we let it do dangerous things. The YOLO mode in the IDE means you are allowed to run commands. Some commands, any commands. It is actually a delicate dance between allowing it to run a Maven build and allowing it to delete files from root. And probably the sweet spot is somewhere in the middle. You want it to be able to run basic stuff because you don't want like to hit continue for every step, but you probably don't want to allow it to do rm minus rf, right? So yes, so I wanted to show you the YOLO mode here. It's basically how it was called.
Brave mode?
No, it
allow
was commands maybe. There was a flag here. There was a flag here that allowed. Well, basically, I cannot find it, but it's somewhere there on those 11 settings that is basically said, run whatever you like. This is like YOLO to the extreme. What we can do instead is actually, if I disallow it, it will start asking me about each and every command. And then I have a drop box that says either allow it once or allow it forever. This is how I can build a library of allowed commands that it actually use without going into dangerous mode of allowing everything.
But in the pure vibe coding, you accept everything, you accept responsibility. In AI-assisted engineering process is more like you making stops, you validate this, maybe you can provide some input. So basically, in this case, you use this as an educational process or like a brainstorming process. In the world of, say, let me quickly switch to.
What happened? What happened, people? It works!
It works?
Look at that! Look at that!
What happened? We need the colors?
Yes, we need colors now! Ah! All right,
so
okay.
let's, where's the camera?
Right here. I detected the color, you see, and now let's send it to the bulb.
Let's put automatic. Let's vibe it. Like, let's vibe it. No, seriously, guys, but I think it requires like a little bit stronger the things. This thing didn't exist a few seconds ago. It had the problems. It still does the things. Let me show some if someone wants to step in on the stage, we can just
No, it will do it with your camera, not
yeah,
not
okay,
with
with my camera. So,
isn't it cool? It is. It works. Ah. All right, Viktor, yours is not working. Well,
not
that's
yet.
skill issue. Skill issue.
Skill issue. Yeah, you You started first. You're
like 20 seconds first.
Head start. Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, yeah, you also have YOLO, and it's also a setting.
Yes, yes. I basically have like enable everything. It just also totally
You have it
in settings.
Yeah.
I can do.
No, it's right.
I think it's just like by
somewhere
default,
here.
just do the
Not
thing.
in the model. Yeah, here. No.
Nope,
No.
right.
Yeah, somewhere.
Somewhere here. Basically, I don't even know how to turn it on or how to turn this off.
Well, the real difference is that Windsurf and Cursor have a list of like allow list and block list that you can put comments in, which is eventually what the Copilot also does, but from a more interactive allow once, allow always kind of pop-up.
Yeah.
No. It has a list of.
What is happening?
You can limit it. You can limit it to only allowed comments, and then you put only the comments that you want.
Yeah. I cannot find the.
I think it's in
list,
Cascade. It's in Cascade. Yeah.
Plugins manage.
Not plugins. Not plugins. Allow.
I don't.
There was somewhere here. Yeah.
Settings. Which one? General.
Where we had the code here.
No, so this is the here you can apply the changes. So this is also interesting feature.
Yep.
So for example, it has it shows me div inside the editor, and I can send accept changes. I just want to accept all,
obviously,
because we are vibing. Also, I can go and check the process of my thingy and see how far we are, because every
it's still generating.
Yeah, so tasks should be, let's see, minus, oops, too fast to fit. So let's do accept changes, so I can see where we're starting. Foundation project, make files, models, REST controller is done, service layer implementation is done, HTTP client, error handling. Let's see if it's actually doing something, no? Do we need to run this? Maybe keep doing something.
Yeah, well, I'll keep. Yeah.
Yeah, you could do.
I'll keep do their good things.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So okay. Now you saw how extraordinarily effective it was, and I don't know about you. I'm surprised as hell. That was never my experience with vibe coding, and there is a secret ingredient. Anyone want to guess? Context, yes. How exactly it is provided?
So,
ask them.
No. Like I will ask the question. So, what do you need to, as an engineer, if something doesn't work, you start playing around. What do you do? No one writes the test. Simon, come on. No one writes this test. What do you do? Like something is not working. You're tinkering, it's not working. What do you do?
I search the web. Yes.
Yes. Also.
Yes. No. But all right. We have a slide for that.
Okay. We have a slide for that.
Okay. So this is the MCP integration part, and So how do you use Spring Boot? You're either born with this knowledge, like a model is born with the knowledge
with the bin post processors, with the injections, dependency injection.
Yeah. So the model knows some stuff about Spring because it was trained on Stack Overflow, where there were questions about Spring Boot.
Hopefully right answers as well.
Right. So what are the problems that we might encounter? Wrong answers, and most importantly, it is outdated. Right? There is a cutoff date when the model was trained. Everything new is not there. Now, you might notice that we use Spring 3.5, Spring Boot 3.5. Spring Boot 3.5 was released 2 weeks ago at Spring IO, 3 weeks ago at Spring IO. It's definitely not a part of pre-trained model. If we only use the model, it would be a disaster. We would be here tomorrow trying to fix stuff that is not working. So this is nice, but not great. Well, what do you do if you don't know? You go and search the web. And this is something that both IDEs know how to do. So they will go and search for answers, and it will find complete bullshit, incorrect answers, irrelevant stuff, and maybe sometimes something that works. So it will definitely speed up the process, but not enough. What we really should do as human engineers, and we expect our agents to do, is read the manual.
Yep.
We wanted to go and read the real
Something's not working.
docs.
Okay, probably we need to start reading manual. So
That's
that's how we do the things.
Now, MCP servers that you heard all of about them throughout the day and know previously is exactly the way to integrate tools which are deterministic and provide the correct answers into our LLM happy vibe coding nonsense. And the way the particular MCP server that does that, it's called Context 7. And Context 7 changes everything. This is one of those resources that make vibe coding from a joke to something that can we actually use. It has a huge library, almost 1,700 libraries that are part, that have the exact documentation about it. And of course, it has Spring Boot. Here we go. Spring Boot was updated 2 days ago from Spring Boot repo that has, obviously, all the correct code. So, in my instructions, one of the most critical parts that I used in prompt and in instructions everywhere is use Context 7 MCP for all the code involved in Java, Spring Boot, HTML, DOM APIs, everything. And this is obviously
it's
what
absolutely a
makes
game
it
changer.
work.
Some of the things that we were trying to find, there was ways how you can create the local version of some repository. Remember, we tried to fit this in form of like text files. We were like trying to create this like a local rags and all these kind of things. This is the absolute game changer.
Put it here. I want to check that it actually checks. No, I'll run with the camera, but first let's do that. All right, perfect. Okay. Does it?
Doesn't. No.
No, but that was the previous color. So you need
color is not.
Okay, it still doesn't work.
No, you see, it's purple. It says purple.
No, it doesn't. All right, okay. So let's keep going.
No, it recognizes.
No, but it's not. The color is not.
Color to bump. No.
I need to stop mine. I know why.
You think you're?
Yeah, we have a conflict here.
Conflict of interest.
Yeah, here we go. Let's see if that helps. No.
Let's see purple. Yep.
No, still no.
No?
No.
No?
No.
No.
No. No. No. All right, go fix it.
Yep.
All right, okay. We're on the right side. Okay. Okay. So, next question that was also absolutely extraordinary how it worked was how can LLM test a front end? Well, the obvious you don't. You just leave the customers to complain about it. Yep. And that will be like the different vibe coding mode. It will create something and will say, well, I'm done. Look at it, and if something you don't like, go ahead and change it. And for us, it's obviously not good. The other is we can actually ask it to examine the components somehow to analyze the end results of HTML and compare components and what's not. Yep. But what would be really cool would be to look at the UI and say if it actually works.
Yep.
Now, obviously, I cannot look at AI. What we can do with an MCP server like Puppeteer is to instruct the model to open the page.
You're talking too much. Let me show you. So one of the things that this thing can do, our right slide, is exactly what the Baruch says. It went to this page, created a screenshot, and now it's starting analyzing what is wrong with this screenshot. It can go and read the actual. Let's continue. So it's still doing the thing. It knows a little bit about JavaScript that can and the CSS that can pick up selectors. I don't know what's happening with my screen today. So it can find particular like CSS selectors. You can find. No, it's fine. Maybe it's like HDMI. I don't know. It found the camera error and tried to fix this.
So it looks at the UI and it understands what the problem is, which is another MCP that makes vibe coding so good those days. Right? All right. Okay. So that was that. And
just like, let me try one more time.
Slides. You want to try one more time?
Yeah, I want to try one more time. If it's if we'll be able to pick up the purple one. No?
No.
I need to send to bulk automatic.
Automatics,
purple,
maybe.
purple, right?
Maybe. No? Yeah, no, still skill issue.
No, it's purple, no?
No,
Change it,
it's
no,
not.
change
A nice try, but no.
No? Still.
All right, go work.
We'll continue to work.
All
Yeah.
right, okay. So a bunch of MCPs that we really recommend is obviously Contact 7. It's free, I don't know why. I'm ready to pay tons of money. Puppeteer, that's the thing that does the looking at the UI, which is very cool. Sequential thinking. You remember that we figured out that Windsurf doesn't have the thinking mode? We actually don't have to have it built in. We can actually use an MCP server that will be this code part that will bounce the conversation before it is ready to give it to us. So we can bring sequential thinking into any application or any code at all. And this is obviously very, very cool. GitHub MCP is super useful just for a bunch of stuff. So for example, my model, my code knows how to commit changes once in a while using the GitHub MCP server without hallucinating on Git commands that I hallucinate on Git commands, but it doesn't. So that's an improvement. A generally awesome list of awesome MCP servers is Pankai /awesome MCP servers. There is so many such great stuff in it, both like really useful and silly. Take a look. How are we doing?
We're doing the yellow for some reasons.
Okay. I don't know if it's a progress.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, all right. So we are in the middle of vibe coding. And while Viktor is trying to fix it, I want to show you a follow-up request. And the follow-up request is, you remember
wait. I think, yeah, I got this.
Switch, no, wait. Switch the camera.
All right.
Switch the camera. All right, I'm going to steal your hoodie.
You need to, yeah, okay. So we're going to do.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah. Oh, wrong side.
And you're not showing the right thing.
Yeah, correct. Yes, we're doing this. We're switching to different camera. I'm showing right thing, no? Oh, I'm sorry, my bad.
You're not showing the right thing?
Yes, I'm showing the right thing.
All right, okay, you ready?
Yeah, let's try it. Yeah, it figure out it's purple. It works.
It's actually here.
If we have a yellow, like there's gentleman yellow, can we?
I can do my penguin.
You can try, but
I can jump, and I can jump. No, I can't.
As always, it was.
No, I can't. Okay. When it's
yellow. Anyone yellow? Blue. Like Simon.
Oh, Simon. Go undress. No, don't undress.
Yeah, then that's okay.
Oh, here you go.
I got it.
Here you go.
I got it, Simon. I got you. We will lower. Where is it?
Kinda, sorta?
No,
it's really.
Swapped to.
Oh, here you go. Yes, it was green for a second.
For a second, because it's the.
All right. Okay. Generally works.
Generally works. It's too fast. See, like color very similar to what the Simon has. Like very similar. As always, no. As always, the problem in somewhere in between.
Front end.
Front end. Yes.
Obviously.
Like, I need a refresh. I need to refresh the things.
All right. Okay. So I wanted to show you a follow-up, a small follow-up.
Yeah. And while we're on it, yes.
Prompt. Right. So remember the annoying IP that was hard-coded, and this is why nothing worked. So let's do something like this. Can you please add a support for a DNS discovery of the light bulb IP? Use JMDNS framework. We're vibe coding. We're not typing anything.
Yep.
All right. Now, while it does it, I want to ask you, who heard about JMDNS? No one.
Exactly. That's the point.
And that's exactly the point. No one heard about it. Now, obviously, it wasn't part of the training. So what do we need to do in order for it to find the right information? It needs to go to Context 7. Does Context 7 know about JMDNS?
A generally interesting question.
I can tell you that it didn't until yesterday. Now it does, and it learned about it 22 hours ago, thanks to your truly, and the way it learned it is just this. You paste a GitHub link. Next thing you know, your IDE won't hallucinate about stuff that no one heard about.
You're super excited.
I am super excited.
Yes, it is.
This is what makes it work.
You're ready to swipe the credit card.
Yes.
This is a great developer experience, right? The developers have problems. They solve the problems. I'm happy to pay.
That's so good.
So yeah, I use the same phrase that you did, and one of the things that you're switching.
Yeah, I did. It's yours.
Okay. One of the things that we also want to add this on the UI indicator. I don't know if you said specifically that you want to see like a UI indicator saying that it's connected to the.
No, I did not.
So this light bulb, it's quite advanced. I couldn't believe that for just like $12 I got like super cool device that has internal like web server, has API server. You can do like a UI integrations, but also has API, and also you can do auto discovery. That's how you want to deal with your devices, right? You don't want to have a hard-coded values. So we want to do auto discovery. So let's see how it's still doing some of the things. It will be iterating some of the things. Also, Simon will be super happy because along the way, this thing actually implemented some tests. Some that required based on obviously it's just the mocks and stuff, but at least it parses the API calls and JSON and all this kind of stuff. It's pretty nice. And let's see.
All right, we're definitely out of time.
Yep.
Yeah, so let's just do the slides, the end slides, and then
one last thing.
You will show it if it works.
And one last thing.
Yes.
There's one last thing.
You have one last thing?
Yes.
Is it ready?
We will see. Just
okay. We promised you a third contender.
Yeah.
And that's show the UI first. And that's JetBrains Juni.
Yep.
JetBrains Juni is also agentic AI built into IDE, but it's built by JetBrains and it's built into IntelliJ.
Yes.
Now, the exciting thing about it, that it's completely different from those two twins, Johnson and Special Agent Johnson, because it doesn't have model selection, for example. It doesn't have an CP integration, and it still does an amazing job. And that's because those decisions are opinionately taken by the JetBrains folks. They decided for us which will be the best model or a combination of models for different tasks, and what tools should they call in order to provide the best coding result. So it simplifies the user experience, and frankly, it
doesn't quite work.
Yeah, and frankly does not a significantly worse job than the others.
Some stuff is happening. Front-end stuff.
All right, but generally, we made all three of them work in pretty much the same time, and that was pretty impressive. All right.
All these things are a difference between those things. They use the same approach. I used approach with the PDD, same prompts. I applied for both UIs, for both agents.
We are going to be kicked out of stage. Look at his face. Look, he's ready. All right. At JBaruch, at Gamusa, speaking.jbaruch, or this QR code, speaking in Gamov.io, no QR code, sorry. And, well, rating, you know what to do. If you love this talk, scan this QR code. If you didn't, we accept complaints at DevNull.
In the writing mode. Like, all the questions need to be submitted in written mode.
To DevNull.
We will be available for enhanced interrogation after this talk. We're happy to talk, as you know, like, we talk a lot.
We're happy to talk.
We have a lot of things to talk about this. I think, can we consider this a success? Works, both things work somehow.
Yeah, that's true. That's
thank
true.
you.
Thank you so much.
Discovery works. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. Yeah, let's take a look. Let's take a look on discovery.
Scanning for devices.
Scanning for devices.
Scanning for devices.
Scanning for devices.
No, okay, it doesn't work. So close. Thank you.
Yeah, so now we will have a longer coffee break.
Oh, there was a coffee break. We could continue.
Yeah, let me see if a discovery will work on my side. At least I can be redeemed on something.
Next thing is lightning talks.